So this is the Forex Factory. So once you come on a website, you're gonna see this. You're gonna see the latest stories on the news, some hot stories right here, and different currencies. This is a forex currency. We have futures and we have just normal companies like stocks. But I don't really trade forex. So if you want to get on forex, maybe I'll teach you one day. I'm gonna teach the difference between forex, uh, companies, stocks, and futures, and we're gonna go over that really soon. But this is where you're gonna go. You're gonna look at this box over here primarily. All right, I'm gonna show you how it works. So first we got the date. This is when the news is happening. So I was looking at what the news is for November 3rd, but let's go back and let's see. October 29 was a crazy day. So we can see the date, October 9. We can see what time the news comes out. And you're gonna see the currency. So we're gonna see what the news primarily affects, what currency it primarily affects. If it affects the NZD, you can just Google what it means. The New Zealand dollar. If we see CAD, it means the Canadian dollar. If we see the USD, it means the United States dollar. And we see the JPY, you can see the Japanese yen. All right. There's more. If you see EUR is the means, it means the means euro. CNY means Chinese yen, and I think that's all, if I'm not mistaken. AUD, did we search AUD? AUD is Australian dollar. So yeah, they have it all right here. You see use gold, there we go. But we have the currency on this side, and we have the impact. So these are sorted by color. So if we go to the filter right here, we can see gray primarily means it will have no economic effect. Yellow means it's a low impacting effect. It's a low impacting that we're gonna expect. So when news comes out and it's a yellow folder right here on the impact section, we're expecting low impact, little to none. We have orange, which is a medium impact. Sometimes it's not even impact at all, just as much. So for me, I took out the yellow folder since it's low impact. I kept the orange and red and gray. The red is gonna be most important, but the orange is medium impact. Not even that much impact, to be honest, but still news going out at that day or time. All right. Then we have red folder. This is high impact news. All right. So this is news that is going to have a big impact towards the stock market. So if you can see on Wednesday the 29th, we can see that on 2:30 there was FOMC. And there was four big news you have to keep out for. You have to look out for PPI, CPI, FOMC, and NFP. All right? So we have FOMC right here. I'm pretty sure CPI was yesterday. There we go. Yeah, CPI was yesterday and it affected the Australian dollar, but it also did have effect on the US dollar since it was high impact. It just had a high impact. CPI is gonna affect the Nasdaq. So if you see it, be wary and see if it makes a big move, and it did. Um, I don't think on that particular day though. You can see it happened at 8:30. So if you go on the charts at October 28 at 8:30, if you see a big candle or a big effect, a big shift, that means it had a high impact into the Nasdaq. But if you look at FOMC, you can see that it says US dollars, so that's regarding the Nasdaq. Um, and you can see that it's a red news. So if we go over to TradingView, can I and go over to October 29, 2:30. Was it this? No, it was not. That day dumped. Go all the way down. There we go. I know this was it. This was definitely it. You can see this massive red candle just spawned in. This is worth, wow, that is worth 120 points. So 120 points just dropped down. And guess what time was it? It says 14:35, but that's just 2:35. So at 2:35, and what does it say come out at 2:30? Yeah, there you go, at 2:30. So just 5 minutes after that news, big impact was expected. You can see right there, it rallied up, big candles, ranging from about 40 points, and then it just dropped. Actually, no, 50, no, 40, 45, about 45 points. So 45 points, and then boom, dropped all the way down 120 points, I think it was. And if we look at this, it dropped down even more, all the way down. Oops, sorry. Okay, it dropped all the way down to, wow, 230 points, which is insane, to be honest. Like, that is a move that's just insane. So you can see that it had a big impact towards the Nasdaq. So if you're trading Nasdaq, you go into Forex Factory, see if there's any news, and you can see. Then we have the details. So you can just search up the details of that. You can see the description, what happened, the source, where it came from, the speaker, the usual effects. So more husky than expected is good for currency. Now think about this, the usual effect. If it's good for the currency, that means it's bad for against the US dollar. No. So anything bad for the ES, anything bad, if it's good for the currency, that means it's bad for the opposite. So if it's good for USD, that means bad for JPY. If it's bad for JPY, it means good for USD. If I'm not mistaken, I might not be 100% sure on that, but yeah. And then we have FF. We have notes why traders care. Cause it's a big news, so of course traders care. But I'm mainly gonna look at the usual effect. So if if the currency is if it's good for currency, that means bad for anything against it. So like gold. So if it's good for the US dollar, what's against the US dollar? Gold. So if it's good for the currency, that means gold is gonna go down. And it's the same for, I'm pretty sure, the Nasdaq or the ES. So yeah, you wanna be careful of that. That's why you might wanna read the news sometimes. Never know. But let's close out of that, and then we're gonna go over to these three. So me primarily, I don't really focus on the details. I just focus on impact and the time, and the date, of course, and sometimes the forecast and actual. So the forecast is what people expect to 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 be the percentage of whatever. So for federal fund rates, people expected 4%, and this is the actual thing. So if you go to the future event, you'll only see the forecast, what people predict. Since it's happening in the future and it's not November 3rd yet, the actual didn't happen. So if we go back to Wednesday, there we go. You can see that the actual people expected 1.6 for pending home sales, but the actual was just nothing, 0%. People expected 2.25. It's exactly what happened, 2.25. This will show you the previous, what happened previously, what the percentage was previously. Previously it was 2.5%, but now the forecast, what people predicted, is 2.2, and what it actually was when the news came out was at 225. So that is how you read the news. The main thing I would take note of is to be careful on these red days. These red days folders is where high impact news is gonna happen. So how exactly are you gonna trade this? You really can't. This thing. This is from the red news, and I don't know about you. This is where I lost money because had no idea how to trade it. Okay, and not a lot of people do, and not a lot of people can. You can see, oh, but we tap into this fair value gap. It immediately gets inversed. So you would take a short, right? Oh my god, short all the way. Yeah, you would have got stopped out completely. All right, it doesn't really work for value. Like, this kind of ranges everywhere. A lot of happens. You can't really tell what's going on. You can see this candle goes all the way up, and then this big red candle just spawns in and it goes all the way down. You can see all the way up and then just boom down. All right. Now you could see some draws of liquidity. I'm pretty sure there was some liquidity draws. Oh, I don't know. Actually, oh look, see. So this can't give draws of liquidity. So data highs, it reached these data highs and just dropped dramatically all the way down. So you can get these. Wow, that's actually a really big drop in really good liquidity. Wow. But yeah. you can use them as liquidity spots. So this is data lows, up at the lows right there, but you can't really trade it. So I would recommend not to trade at all. See what's gonna happen. There's red folders on a lot of red folders on November 3rd, so I wouldn't trade it. And yeah, so be careful of PPI. So if I see PPI, I'm not gonna trade it. CPI is on November 3rd at 2:30 a.m. So am I gonna trade at 2:30 a.m.? No, I trade at 9:30 anyway, so it's not really gonna have an effect on when I'm trading. But if it was 9:30, I would not trade that day because that's when I trade 9:30. If you can see at 10, I would wait. For me, this is what I would do. I would wait until 10 a.m. So I get on at 9:30, look at the chart for just 30 minutes in a row, do not trade, control myself, wait until 10. If a big shift happens like this, I'm not trading it. But if the news comes out at 10 a.m. and nothing really happens and it just continuing on like normal, then I would trade. All right, that's what I would do. So from 10 to 10:30, so I would wait from 10:30. But there's no CPI, PPI, or FOMC or NFP. So these I really don't care about. These are fine. I'll still trade at 10:30 regardless, or 10. But yeah, you can see. So you want to look at the the impact. If it's red, it's a high impact. All right, it'll tell you right here. If you guys click this green button. But yeah, so be careful on these. This is how you read the news. This is how you read Forex Factory. That's it for today's video, guys. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please share with all your friends so this goes all around and you can use them as liquidity, and so that you can know how to trade and use your friend as liquidity. So share with your friends. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Ring the bell for future video, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.